Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Movie Cart channel. We got a very exciting episode today with Steven Spielberg's newest movie, Disclosure Day, dropping this week. We thought we'd take a look back at one of his all-time classics, E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Luke, I think we love movies for the same reason Steven Spielberg absolutely loves making them. They just remind us of our childlike wonder a lot of us lose as we get older. It just brings that feeling back to us. How does Elliot and E.T.'s relationship echo that sentiment for you?
I don't think this is a movie where any childlike wonder is necessarily lost, only diminished and kept near and dear to Elliot's heart. I believe E.T. and Elliot are one and the same. I think they're the dueling perspectives of a child who's experiencing something traumatic that they might have never even had a bad day before. And so you have E.T. and everything is still wondrous to him because he's naive. Everything's new and exciting and fun. And he's watching TV. He's experiencing all the things that an 8-year-old should be doing. And meanwhile, the other half of the personality, Elliot, is going through the first truly difficult situation. It's like an adult situation that he's thrust into. He doesn't understand it, but he is forced to deal with loss in a very real way from a very young age. The personality itself is dreaming of this grandiose miracle, something that will get them through this, that will make their life special, because things can't be sad for any prolonged period of time, I think, for a child this age. They just don't understand permanence in any way, but much less of the dissolution of a marriage. That's just far too complex. So Elliot is in his room dreaming up all these magical situations, and E.T. manifests himself, at least this is my read of the movie. You don't have to agree with it, but E.T. manifests himself as this big adventure, this part of Elliot's personality that still has wonder and amazement from the perspective of them being one and the same. This movie is the greatest exploration of an 8-year-old going through a divorce that has ever existed on film, but it's a project that's near and dear to my heart and means a lot to me.
It's interesting that you say that E.T. in your reading is more of this abstract idea, because Steven Spielberg generated this idea because when his parents got divorced when he was young, he kind of came up with this imaginary alien friend, and that was kind of the inception of this movie idea. But to kind of parallel Elliot and E.T. in a more literal sense in the scope of the movie, of E.T. being, a real alien that's really there, they both mirror each other in their story. Like, E.T. feels lost and abandoned by his family when he's left behind. Elliot feels the same way because his dad is not really in the picture anymore, and they find each other. Elliot helps E.T. find his family again, and in doing so, E.T. helps bridge Elliot's family back together. And it's just this really beautiful story of these two unlikely friends with a very similar issue, just coming to love each other and understand each other and help one another kind of get over their very tragic situations they're dealing with.
And that, to me, just from the real world Spielberg perspective, might even make the movie a little more crushing, because he's still the kid telling himself everything's going to be better and perfect again. Like, he hasn't really come to terms with the fact that he came from a situation that could really mess someone up, like shape their perspective on the world for the rest of their lives, perhaps. Spielberg, the filmmaker, still has to give everyone this happy ending where the families are reunited and Elliot is saying goodbye to this totally innocent, naive, childlike part of his personality, but it stays in his heart. He'll be right here. Even that, it's such an optimistic way of looking at such a zero-sum game, just a situation that has no winners, and just, it is very dull in its pain, I think, a situation like that where a family is broken apart, whether it be because of a loved one passing away or a divorce or what have you. It's how you learn that there isn't always an answer. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways of the movie. The answer you can find won't fix anything, but in your sibling and in your room and in your imagination, even though they were all picking on each other earlier, they form this alliance, which is what you have to do with your siblings. Like, when your parents aren't necessarily as attentive because they are going through something very, very difficult.
It's truly a real thing where the siblings just immediately come together. Elliot's older brother, Michael, immediately stops bullying and picking on him and starts defending him against his own friends. Like, they just become this unbreakable unit. it. I do think the ending of the movie, in a more positive lens too, is this like beautiful lesson of nothing lasts forever. There's going to be people in your lives, whether you just grow apart or they pass away, that they are really important to you, and they're not always going to be around. But as you said, and E.T. says, I'll be right here when he points to Elliot, these people will never fully leave you. They'll always be a part of you, no matter how much time you're able to spend with them physically. You just will always carry those people with you and the feelings they evoked for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. Other than the scene in the school where Elliot lost his mind and got drunk off Coors Banquet because E.T. was drinking at home and freed all the frogs and kissed a girl. Other than that moment, he is an outcast. I think going through something like this, even as simple as a framing as I don't have a mom and a dad right now. And you go to school, you think everyone's looking at you, you think everyone thinks you're a freak. It can isolate you in a way where obviously you're Elliot, you've never been super socially motivated. And now you feel like the whole world's looking at you, even though they're 8. They're probably making fun of him because he likes to play with toys in his room or whatever instead of hanging out and playing kickball. But to him, it's like there's a microscope on him.
Oh yeah, that parallels back to E.T. They are both kind of aliens in the world. Elliot is just as alone as E.T. is, and they come together and fix that issue for each other.
To kind of parallel this to the real world again, even if E.T.'s real, a lot of his thoughts and feelings, especially early in the film, are Elliot's idealized version of a magical friend that dropped out of the sky. And I know you, as a dog lover, could probably relate to this through the hard times of childhood. I got really close with my childhood dog, and a lot of it was just like you telling yourself that this animal who only thinks about food is your guardian and your solace in this moment. And I thought it was a very good parallel to like a special childhood pet.
Yeah, Elliot impresses kind of what he's feeling onto E.T. and obviously vice versa. And I think you're right. There's so many similarities with just how E.T. was designed with the big doe eyes. And he's just a little cute little goofball, just kind of like a dog is. And their dog at home becomes homies with E.T. very quickly. It's such a great comp. But as we dive into more of the story, I just want to say we're trying to hit 500 subs before our 1-year anniversary in July. Lofty goal, but if you're enjoying the video or any of our other content, please smash that like and subscribe button with your bulbous glowing finger, please. Thank you very much. I want to get into some of the more iconic scenes. The first one being E.T. and Gertie playing dress up when she puts the wig on him and teaches him how to talk. It is so fantastic. It's hilarious. The mom is totally oblivious to this little creature waddling around. It's just still comedy. This movie's so funny as well as heartfelt.
It's hilarious. Drew Barrymore plays Gertie. Her comedic timing is advanced. She's hilarious the whole movie. Her brothers get home and she goes, "He talks now. I taught him." And it's like, that's so funny.
I know. It's such a massive achievement. She's just like, he talks now. Yeah, I taught him in about 5 minutes. But another incredible aspect of this movie that makes Spielberg so phenomenal at his job, this movie, the bulk of it is a puppet and 3 child actors. And Henry Thomas, we haven't named him yet, but he plays Elliot. This might be the greatest child actor performance of all time. I mean, he carries the movie. Like, him and a puppet, that's it. Like, that is the emotional crux of this entire film. And I don't know about you, it destroyed me watching this movie. I bawled like 5 separate times. It's so emotionally riveting, and that kid kills it in it.
At the 47-minute mark, I had to pause the movie and drive to Grater's Ice Cream to get myself a cup of black raspberry chip. Yes, I was inconsolable for the entire movie. My wife, who really loves this movie and actually encouraged me at some point to ask you to do it, she just thinks it's the most fantastical romp ever. She loved hearing my perspective, and like she was like, "Why were you crying?"
What do you mean?
This was early in the movie when no one was crying. Yeah. It's incredible, like you said, the job they did with the acting. They say never work with kids or animals. I'd say puppets are pretty high on that list as well. And this kid, I mean, he's up there with Dakota Fanning and Man on Fire with Denzel Washington as the best actor in a movie who's 8. All 3 of the kids were fantastic, but he especially, when it came to sincerity and emotions, it was insane.
Well, going back to your comp with E.T. and the dog and a pet you really loved growing up, Henry Thomas, during his audition, thought about his dog that had recently passed away, to evoke the emotion that sold Spielberg. There's a tape of him, and you just hear Spielberg in the back just go, "Okay, kid, you got the job." Like right on the spot. It's incredible. I forget that this movie is technically a Halloween movie. It feels so summery, but it technically like takes place during Halloween, and of course that's when you get the iconic bike flying scene across the full moon sky. It's still when the music swells up with that John Williams score, it still hits so hard. It is phenomenal. For people our age, I just don't know how really relevant it is compared to a lot of Spielberg's other works. Like most people you ask our age, they've seen Jurassic Park, they've usually seen Jaws, but E.T., their answer is probably not since they're like 5 or 6, which me personally, I hadn't watched this movie in like 15 years, and I've watched it twice in 4 days, and I can't stop thinking about it. I forgot, or I just wasn't old enough to really appreciate how damn impressive of an achievement this movie really is. This is a perfect example of the greatest movies are going to be loved your whole life for drastically different reasons as you age and get older and revisit them. This is definitely one of those. I'm sure when I watch it through the lens of a parent, whenever that happens in my lifetime, it'll hit in a totally different way, but it'll still be just as emotionally powerful.
I mean, the perspective is ever shifting, but there are things like, as silly as it is, him calling his older brother penis breath at the beginning of the movie, which obviously is ridiculous and juvenile. But I called my older brother poop head all the time. Like, that's just how you talk to your siblings when you don't have like the vocabulary for true malice or cursing or whatever have you. You get pretty creative with some of actually are far more devastating insults than calling someone, a son of a gun.
Yeah, one of the best insults in this movie that I definitely kept in the bank for, whenever I need it is zero charisma. When Elliot just keeps screaming that to his brother's friend. It's so funny.
They're at an age where they might not know what that word means. And he is just tearing him down. It's like, you don't have command of a room when you speak. Like, that is an insane thing to say.
So I think when this movie really ratchets up is when E.T. comes back to life, when Elliot is inconsolable and he says he loves him, and then his heart starts glowing again. E.T.'s homies are coming back to save him, and he realizes there's no time to die.
I hate you. Inside Baseball, I was going to move the video on, and Carter made us go back so he could do that bit.
What are you talking about? I absolutely love when Mike tells his homies he needs them to meet him at the spot with their bikes. Literal government shutdown, people in spacesuits walking around their house. They have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
But it's like the town. They literally just go, whose bike we taking? Like, they're just so ready. They're so ready for the action. It's awesome.
It's crazy because I was going to go Stranger Things with the comp for that scene, but I think the town actually might be better just due to like the naivete of the situation from all of his boys.
They're so ready to help. They have no idea what's going on. With E.T. saying his goodbyes to the children, specifically Elliot, of course, when his finger glows and he says, "I'll be right here." John Williams did the score, and then Spielberg edited that whole scene around the score, which is pretty unheard of. Like, usually the score is made for the edit. That's why it comes together in such a beautiful way, because Spielberg literally worked around Williams' music.
That's just one of the trademarks of Spielberg and what makes him so special. He is willing to let his actors cook, his writers cook. He lets his, in this instance, composer cook, and the movie's better off for it. He's one of the greatest directors of all time, certainly in the top 5 of any lists of anyone who knows what they're talking about. He knows that he isn't the best at everything, and he finds the people who are the best at any of his shortcomings. It comes together for this like perfect controlled chaos that becomes like a dish at a Michelin star restaurant. It's incredible, and it's his true superpower.
Definitely. I think that plays into his empathy. He can feel what will get the best out of other people, and in turn will get the best out of his movie. Even just working with child actors, like, he's able to relate to these 8 to 12-year-old kids and direct them so well and so powerfully that their emotions translate on screen. It feels so real. Even his idea idea. He filmed this movie in chronological order to
Mhm.
have the kids have a more emotional reaction at the end when they're saying goodbye to E.T. That's how damn genius this guy is.
Amazing.
It's bonkers.
Incredible.
This movie is just a huge cohesion of a ton of incredibly talented people, from the director, the actors, a couple other people we definitely have to talk about. Melissa Matheson wrote the screenplay and the story with Steven Spielberg. I mean, she obviously did a phenomenal job. Dating Harrison Ford at the time, they met on the Raiders of the Lost Ark set. That's how Spielberg started writing this with her.
That's about as good as life gets, right? Dating Harrison Ford and writing E.T. That's pretty dope.
Not bad. Not bad milestones. And then Carlo Rambaldi handled the special effects, designing E.T., the puppetry, obviously out of this world, no pun intended. I mean, he looks tangible. Like, he's there. He's not some CGI thing pasted over the scene in post. Like, he is a actual person in the camera, essentially, and it looks so good.
Yeah, no, I mean, as far as puppeteering goes and the designing and movement of this particular puppet, it's up there with Yoda, the original Muppets, and Labyrinth with David Bowie, like that kind of truly rarefied territory. And you think this is the most incredible achievement of anyone's career ever. But he made the chest burster in Alien, directed by Ridley Scott. So this dude he's got his stripes. Damn, I just love puppets, man. It is just such a better option. I would rather it look 30% worse and be a puppet than look pristine and be CGI. That you can't replicate the feeling of acting across something.
I totally agree. I mean, there's obviously the famous story of Sir Ian McKellen literally breaking down crying on the set of The Hobbit because he's in a giant green screen room. Even with Disclosure Day coming out, I'm obviously excited. It's Spielberg. But even just seeing like the CGI deer and the aliens in the movie, there's just some piece of magic that I think has been lost that we just probably won't really get back. I mean, we use some puppetry. I know Star Wars tried to put emphasis on it when they brought it back, but at the end of the day, it's just not an art that's appreciated as much as it used to be. Big exciting announcement for you, Luke. We have a return of your favorite segment. Facts so fun, they're out of this world. You buffoon. Number one, Reese's Pieces were kind of a failing candy. They partnered with this movie and their sales tripled in 2 weeks, and it totally revitalized their business. Incredible product placement move for them. It's iconic at this point. There's the obvious Star Wars connection. I mean, he shows him his action figures. He interacts with Yoda on Halloween and he says home when he sees him.
Yeah.
And then George Lucas put E.T. Aliens in the Senate and the Phantom Menace. So, some people argue that he's like E.T.'s a Jedi. I prefer not to think of it that way, but I guess canonically, technically, I guess maybe that's true.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But this also holds the longest theater run in history at 18 months straight.
Wow.
This movie played in theaters.
Obsession had one of the greatest 5th weeks of all time, and it's gonna leave and go to streaming immediately, even though it's doing so successful. That's just an era we'll never return to, but that's awesome.
Also, this is very interesting. Spielberg noted in an interview that he always viewed E.T. as more plant-based and never really a boy or a girl. This is because America has become woke and it forced his hand. In Joe Biden's America, we can't have little alien penises anymore. And I know that upsets you greatly, but thanks, Joe.
No response.
I know, it takes my breath away, too. I got one more for you. On the set, Spielberg referred to Elliot and E.T.'s empathic link as eatism.
That's not real, right?
It's in the research, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm gonna choose to believe it. I don't know if you're telling the truth or not. But I do have a sad announcement. Just this week, for the first time, we are canceling my favorite segment, The Materialist versus E.T. It's just not fun for this one. There's no funny. But Dakota, don't worry, we still love you. It will be coming back. You will win one day. But this week, girl, just enjoy yourself. Go get your nails done. It's okay.
Take a trip. Yeah, you've earned it. But I did have on my final rating section, I just put one bullet point and it says, I mean, come on. I think we know E.T. is better than The Materialist, but in case that wasn't clear, there you go.
No, I didn't want to subject her to that brutality.
But that's going to wrap it up for us this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't seen this movie or haven't revisited it in many years, please go watch it. It is truly one of the greatest movies ever made. It is so beautiful. I will bet you $1 million you will cry in this movie. And if you don't, you're probably a sociopath. Yeah. But we implore you to watch it. Like and subscribe. Watch Disclosure Day. Support your local theaters. And we'll see you next time.